Today on 7th Circle Gaming, we begin our series on second chances with the game My Summer Car. Now, this is a game that we looked at in the past, but for whatever reason, can't remember now exactly what it was, we decided it wasn't really appropriate for the channel. However, after viewing another video that discussed this game on another YouTube channel, we decided that, well, maybe there was something that we missed here, and it was worth talking about, hence why this video exists. We'll get started with the analysis in just a moment, but we're going to begin with a little full disclosure. As we always do, you're welcome to pause the video and read through this if you like, but if that's not really your thing, just let the video run. As My Summer Car lacks any sort of traditional one key press overworld map, we're going to forego that and instead look at what the in-game world looks like, talk about the user interface, and show off at least a little bit of what players are going to spend the majority of their time in the first part of the game doing. With this gameplay footage, we aim to illustrate a couple of different points. First of all, we aim to illustrate that the in-game world is rendered in a very realistic art style. Almost every in-game object is something that some, if not all, players are likely to recognize. The second thing that we intend to illustrate with this in-game footage is the level of interactability on offer. From what we're going to see in this footage, the player has almost complete control over a few specifically interactable in-game objects, and the player must interact with no fewer than 3 in-game objects to ensure complete or successful completion of the task. We will very shortly let you watch the rest of this in-game footage uninterrupted, but there are a few things that we want to highlight about the user interface. The first is the different gauges or metrics at the top left-hand corner roughly of the screen. These are the usual sort of survival meters that we've come to expect from survival games. Second, at the roughly top right-hand corner of the screen is an icon that represents the fact that the player is utilizing the tool mode. Finally, at the bottom center of the screen, although we can't necessarily see it now, there is a sort of hotbar that indicates the item that the player has currently moused over. And that's all the in-game footage that we have for you on this particular video, so we're going to now move on to our first proper chapter, which is, as it always is, immersion. And here the game has earned a score of 11 out of 15, which is frankly very high. Almost every aspect of the game in our experience works together to create a sense of immersion for the player. No one aspect is lesser or greater than any other. If, however, we were pressed to highlight one particular item or one concept that was working to create relatability in My Summer Car, we would point to relatability, which is a word that players are going to hear a fair amount in this video, so keep that in mind. And that's all for lasting appeal, so let's now move on to difficulty, where the game has earned a frankly very, very low score of 1 out of 15. We don't have anything additional to add to what you can see on the screen. You're welcome to pause the video and read through all of this at your leisure. So we're going to now move on to lasting appeal. We now move on to lasting appeal, where the game has earned a frankly very low score of 3 out of 15. From our experience, My Summer Car is very much a game of two halves. The first half of the game is spent assembling the vehicle, and the second half of the game is spent acquiring more funds to acquire a greater sense of player agency over that vehicle. That is to say, to make the vehicle more unique to the individual player. Overall, the game has earned a nearly average score of 5 out of 15, and we are going to forego any further objective statements, so we hope you have your salt handy as let's get subjective. Absolutely, positively recommend having a walkthrough or a guide running on a second monitor as you experience this game. On the other hand, even with that guide, it can become a pixel hunting nightmare as you try to find the correct point in 3D space, or the exact point rather, in 3D space that the game wants you to mouse over to get two parts to connect together. Now then, the big question is My Summer Car. As the video that inspired this one suggested, unlike any other game that you've ever experienced before. Absolutely not. It is like any one of 100 different mechanic simulators, just with additional variables. On the other hand, the positive hand, My Summer Car is incredibly relatable. Almost everyone who is playing this game or has thought about playing this game can relate to the idea of automobile in some form or fashion, even if it is as little as seeing an automobile on the road. My Summer Car is a very Finnish game. Players from Finland are likely to spot references to everything from sisu to sauna culture. About the only thing that the game doesn't have that we've noticed is a reference to Kansari Kanet, which is an interesting aspect of Finnish culture that roughly translates to English as pants drunk. Go ahead and Google that if you're interested in learning more. And on that final highly subjective and also highly Suomi note, we do congratulate everyone who watched all the way to the end of the video. If there are any games that you would really like to see analyzed on the channel, please don't hesitate to put those in the comments section, and we'll get to them as quickly as we can. And we wholeheartedly thank everyone who clicked the like button to see more videos like these that are highly objective analysis of video games. Go ahead and click the subscribe button. Whichever one you choose to click, thank you very much for watching all the way to the end of this video. We look forward to seeing you on the next one, and from 7th Circle Gaming, goodbye.